Okay, hello, hello, hello. Okay, so glad you're here. This video is all about the power of belief. Again, this is the first week. Everything is about, or the week is about awareness and building awareness, and understanding the power of your beliefs is a huge one. I will refer to my notes to make sure that I don't forget anything. There's a quote by Jung that says, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And I am going to explain or tell you about 4 types of limiting beliefs. So we always call them limiting beliefs, but 4 types, different types, and how they're running our life. I'm going to give you an example from my own life, and I'm just giving you an idea or a framework how you can think about your ability to change those beliefs. Let me give you a very, very current example that we're living through right now. It is racial inequalities and injustices here in the United States. And it's always been there. But we've just become aware of how rampant it is and how widespread it is. And while we may have known that it was there, it wasn't really at the forefront for us. And even if we knew that there's inequalities, we probably were in a state of, what can I change about it? And so this is America, there's nothing we can do about it. But obviously, all of a sudden, a lot is being done about it. And this is exactly like that. In your own personal beliefs, the beliefs that you hold about yourself and about the world, they can hurt you, but they can also and will sabotage your success and your fulfillment in life. So even if you don't like the thoughts and beliefs that you are thinking about, we've never really been taught that there is a way to change those beliefs, all right? So think about this. So it's basically, it's like a computer program. So a computer is just the hardware. Without the software, the computer won't work. It's basically useless. But once you put in a software, and then it runs the way that you need it to run. And if there's a malware or if the software is broken, then it affects the entire system and the performance of the computer. And obviously what we'll do is we will uninstall that software and reinstall the one that works right. And once we've done that, everything works like a charm again. So it's kind of like that for us humans as well. So we humans, like our body, our brain is kind of the hardware, and our thoughts and beliefs is the software. And so, and these beliefs are usually installed in us very early on in life. Like it's coming from it's societal beliefs and agreements. It is like family and friends and school and all the experiences we're going through. They are all installing and being confirmed in our life. And so we believe that what we think or what the societal agreements were that we bought into, that they are truth. And so let's look at those beliefs. So in IPEC coaching, those beliefs are called gales. So there's four types of limiting beliefs, and it's like they're called gales, and gales stands for gremlins, assumptions, interpretations, and limiting beliefs. And so these limiting beliefs are those programs that are being implanted or installed in us through culture, society, religion, school, all of that. So it's kind of these agreements: you have to work hard to be successful. Girls should be pretty, boys need to be tough, boys don't cry, girls are better seen, not heard. You have to sacrifice everything to be successful at this company. money doesn't grow on trees, you need to have good grades or you won't succeed in life, or you'll gain weight in menopause, right? So these are all these things that we just agreed upon, and we don't really think twice that there's a different way to think about these things. So the next one is interpretations. That means is that something's happening in your life, and then in your head you're making up a story about what that means in relation to you. So for example, is I didn't get the job in the last 2 interviews that I've had, so I don't think it's even worth interviewing because I won't get it anyway. Or like, he was looking weirdly at me. I think she thinks I'm a brat. Or they were laughing at me at the corridor. I think they want me to quit my job. Or he hasn't called me back yet. I think that means, like, he doesn't respect my boundaries. He knows that I want him to call back. Another one is assumptions. So assumptions is where you're telling yourself, oh, I'm too old to start a new business, for example. Or I think I'm too young to be taken seriously in a job. Or I'll never meet somebody as good as him. Or I'll always be poor. I'm really good at being poor. Or, if you just got divorced, I'm gonna end up in the gutter. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna survive without him. And then there's the last category is the gremlins. And those are like deep-rooted, deep-seated thoughts and beliefs. It's like, I'm not good enough to do this, that, or the other. I'm not worthy of love, success, abundance. Or I'm too stupid to do this. Or, especially for those who have been successful at what they do, I'm a fraud and I'll be found out. That's kind of the imposter syndrome. They'll get me. They'll see that I'm not as good as they think I am. Or I'm not smart enough, of course. So everything that's I am not enough, I'm not enough. So all of these beliefs, whichever gale there are, it's a piece of software that runs us subconsciously. We're not even aware of it. So a personal example of that, and it may be surprising for some of you, and it may also trigger something in you, potentially. So it's a belief I had about money, and you know what? It's like multifaceted, and I'm still working through all of these aspects. But here's my belief. My belief was that there's not enough money for everyone, and if I will take money, then it is being taken away from someone else who's more deserving of than me. And I know where this belief came from, and when a couple of weeks ago, I did a video similar to this. I had a download, an idea, it just popped in my head. It's like where this was coming from. It was coming from it. So from early on, I was about 10 years old. My parents, or 9, my parents got divorced really early. Money was always a big issue in our household. Every decision was, made about how things were looking, and how things were perceived on the outside, and whether the money was there or not. It was always kind of tight, but everything had to look really flashy and like pulled together. And so my parents got divorced, and and at some point my dad came up with a scheme of how he would give us pocket money. And so my brother's 2 years younger than I. And the other thing I have to say is it was like a miracle that my father even brought up the concept of pocket money, because he was super tight. It's a total different story. Anyway, so here was the scheme. He said, okay, I have a budget of I don't know, I'm gonna say 30 Deutschmarks at that time. I've got a budget of 30 Deutschmarks because Dani is the older one. She will get 20 Deutschmarks, and Michi, because he is the younger one, he'll get 10. And every January at Michi's birthday, he's gonna get $1 more. So it would be from $10 Euro, Deutschmarks to 11, 12, 13, 15. And for me, whenever it was his birthday, I would be getting $1 less. So that at the end we would be leveling out when he was 15, that both of us were getting 15 Deutschmarks, and that would stay like that forever. And of course, makes no sense like for me. It's very confusing, but I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to say anything because you couldn't really argue with my dad. But what that did to me is that I wasn't worth it. I wasn't worthy, and that for other people to get something or to get more, it would get out of my budget or out of what I was deserving or getting. So it doesn't make much sense. And you probably have similar stories that might come up when you hear me talk about this. But I want to also tell you what this did to me, and it took me like 47 years to figure this out. But I was in pain during many of those. Like, I had an extremely hard time writing invoices. I would push it out. I didn't want to go there. It was the hardest thing for me to do. Whenever I sent an invoice, my heart was pounding. If I had any negotiation for fees, I would immediately settle for whatever I got offered. Being like grateful that I was being paid at all. I never wanted to talk about money because like just going there felt so, this is icky, greedy. I didn't want to be seen as greedy. I charged usually less than other people that charged sometimes double of what I was charging, but I never thought that I or my work deserved kind of the same. I never asked for a raise, ever. So another thing was that I often felt so guilty that we as a family have enough, that I just was walking around like a bag of guilt, and that I needed to do like so much more and work so much for other people. Anyway, so I worked more than was healthy, and because I just wanted to feel worthy to receiving whatever I was receiving. Anyway, but there's of course a flip side to it, because it made me work really, really hard and made me be really good at what I was doing. And what I was doing, I really liked, and so I got paid for it, and I got paid well because it was worth it. So while at some point it didn't serve me, like that mindset didn't serve me anymore, it did serve me to a certain extent. So the idea then is to flip the switch, and there's a lot of release work that needs to be done that works through coaching in general, but the first step to change is becoming aware. So let me see that I have everything. So what I want you to get away with, that you don't have to be a victim of your beliefs or your belief system. You can change those beliefs. You can release some of the underlying stuff that is keeping you stuck in a certain belief system that's not serving you. So here is your exercise for this segment. It's in the booklet, and it is to think about the beliefs about money, work, success, and health. So those are the 4 things to think about. You can think about all of it at once, which would be crazy a lot, I know. Or you just pick out the one that speaks to you, and you feel that's something that stands out for you, and then journal or write about it. You can use a journal. Here is a workbook. You can use that. Okay, so another trick, because your conscious mind will try to take over and make you write what you think you should be writing. A way of circumventing that, if you so choose, is to either do it in the morning, like right after getting up, and just write it out without even thinking, and just let it flow. Like, ask yourself the question, what are my beliefs about money? What are my beliefs about health? And then just write it down. Or if you're in the middle of the day, just center yourself, close your eyes, hand on heart, breathe deeply a couple times, and then open your eyes and just write. Don't judge, don't correct yourself, just let it flow. Yeah, so that is one of the exercises. Have fun with that and lots of insights. See you in the next video.